but I don't want you to be my everything to the point where I don't even have a mind of my own. I can't even think on my own. I don't even want to make moves like without you. I don't want to do this without you. Now, I do think like big things that you need to talk about, it should be collective, all that stuff like that. But I feel like you have to have motion by yourself, and not even just financial motion. I'm talking about mentally, spiritually, physically. Like you have to be that person that can be independent. Like how they say it is, I'm independent, but I want to be able to depend on you.
Got you. Yeah.
Versus I'm not independent. I'm just dependent on you all times. I need you. I need you. I need you. No, it's like I'm independent, but I love to be able to depend on you. Hey y'all, this your girl Shelly with Go and Grow Podcast, and I'm here with my co-host
Cutting Kev, the man with the plan.
You already know it.
Yep.
And what we're going to be talking about today is dating in 2023, and we're going to have a female and male's perspective of it, and we're just going to come together and, you know, say some things that we think that is crazy in dating, okay?
Sound about right.
So, I think you should go first.
Dating in 2023 is different. When I think about like how our parents grew up and like dating sites and different things like that, the crazy part is I actually just started getting on a dating site not too long ago. Like Facebook dating is like a pool of just, I don't even know how to explain it. It ain't no good.
It ain't
no good. But like paying for other apps to like get, like you might not get the same type of people. I don't know. Like you really don't know. So like I think it's interesting. You have so many different options to meet different people, or meeting people organically, like at a bar or out and about. Yeah. So it's like it's different today in today's day and age. But I think like when you think about intention, it's just like, well, a lot of people date. I hear like dating to get married, and it's like for me, I'll say I'm dating to like collect information and like really get to know the person. But I think a lot of people like they skip the process of friendship when they start dating to get married. Like I understand, like we don't want to waste nobody's time, but it's just like I want to collect as much information to make a great decision later down the line. So people saying, "Oh, I'm dating to get married." Like if you ain't talking about marriage, it's like, are you even marriage caliber? Like, are you even like ready? Like, so it's interesting for me. It's interesting for me, but it's a process. It's a process in the same thing.
You know, and I feel like I say I'm dating to get married, but not in the sense of you better be ready right now. It's more so I'm dating with the intentions on marriage if you meet up to the standards of marriage. Not just, oh, because I want to get married, if you make me my stomach flutter with butterflies, I'm gonna marry you. No, it's basically like you said, gathering information. Like I literally start playing like games. Like if I'm a date, like I'll play dating games, like you know, games to help you
good games people, good games.
Yeah, good games to help you come up with, like, to help you with questions to ask that you wouldn't normally ask on the fly. Yeah. And I feel like those are very helpful because it's so intentional. It lets you know everything you need to know, and I feel like that's my way of getting to a point where I know somebody, and whatever I could miss, I could capture with those questions that I didn't think of.
And so I think that's dope because, like, even when you think about that, like, a lot of people relate, because even my thought process, like, when you talk about playing games, it's just, like, having game and everything like that. So, like, what is your thought in today's day and age about, like, women making the first move with a guy or so-called pursuing a guy? Like, what's your thoughts on that?
So I was just talking about this on my live. I was basically saying, like, I ain't gonna lie, like, I've never pursued a guy. I feel like in my younger days, I pursued a guy if I was drunk at the bar and I'm like, oh, he looked good, you know what I'm saying? But other than that, now, this is how my personal thing. I feel like if the man is the person that's supposed to lead and you're supposed to follow, and he wants you to be submissive and follow after him, I believe that if it is a man for you, as that man, leading will already be in his brain, and he will already begin to make that move without you having to make that first move. That's what I believe. So I feel like if a man really wants you, you wouldn't have to question if you should make the move or he should make the move. Because I feel like a lot of the times when women make the first move, it be to men that play around because they weren't even ready for you in the first place, which is why they never pursued you. You pursued them. And I feel I don't know, like I feel like just like a lion, when they're going after their prey, it's like they looking, they making sure they gonna figure it out, then they gonna go. And that's why I feel like that as like a man, like if you're gonna be that leader, I feel like you should lead. Now if you're dating already, I feel like okay, you can initiate dates as a woman and stuff like that, but the first interaction I feel like should be initiated by the man.
So the interesting part, because you talked about like the man leadership and the lion, like even in the what do they call it, the not even the clan but the tribe of like lions, like you have the alpha and there's only one alpha. Like you do have other alpha males, but like not all men are alphas.
Yeah.
And it's just like when you talk about going to get your prey and this and the third, like for me I don't see it being a problem with a woman. Like when I say making a move, it's just like showing that you're interested, because some women have like the resting bee face, or like they seem standoffish, and it's like once I get to know you, it's just like, oh, you cool, or you goofy, or you weird. But you wouldn't know that just by like talking to them or just like seeing them from a distance. So like I think a lot of maybe even beta men, like they don't necessarily like go after or make the move initially, but like once you actually get to know them, I think it wouldn't be a problem. I don't think it would be a problem or issue. So
and when you put it like that, I guess it's, see, I thought you were saying like, you know how like you gonna ask the woman on a date, that's the first move I'm thinking, like,
okay, no, I get that.
You know, I wouldn't ask a man on a date,
right?
You know,
I get you.
Not the first date. If I'm dealing with a man, I'm taking him on dates for sure, but like that's not my first thought to ask him on a date, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I will make it known, like if I feel like we lock eyes or something like that, and I like what I see, like I ain't the one that's gonna be like, ooh, spicy. I'll be like, you know, like them little gestures to let you know I see you, you see me, kind of thing. So because I feel like we too old to be playing games. So if I feel like you interested and I already looked at you too, or I lock eyes with you and I realize, all right, because at that point you only looking at looks, because you ain't never talked to him and never met him. Right. So it's like if I see your looks, I'm like, okay, then and you show me you looking, I'ma look back. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, all right. So yeah, I don't think that's a bad thing. I think even when you talk about getting into the nitty gritty of like paying on the first day, I think that men just pay on the first date, like make the investment, because honestly it shouldn't have gone, like people would just be going out just to be going out. Like you should be having conversations via text message or phone call before you even decide to go ahead and take that initial step to like go out with somebody.
Exactly.
But peeping the vibe, like I see it as like a first date as an investment to see like, can this go somewhere? And it's just like sometimes you don't always get a return on the investment.
That's true.
Man, just invest in the first date if you decide to go ahead and take her out. Now if you're trying to get the cheeks, that's one thing. If you really want to see where this thing can go, like go ahead and come up off the dollars, make an investment. It ain't gonna hurt you. We can make it back. So I think that's my thought process.
I think that is good. But one thing I did say, because did you see that list on Instagram where it was like the girls had a list of where the dudes couldn't take them on a first date?
I did see that.
And let me see if I could look and find it on here, because I had it in my phone and it was so many things. Yep, it's right here, because it was wild to me. It was the Cheesecake Factory, Applebee's, Chili's, Chipotle, Olive Garden, the movies, your house, any fast food chains, Buffalo Wild Wings, Wingstop, Red Lobsters, a buffet, IHOP, Denny's, the gym, church, Starbucks, coffee dates, ice cream dates, family functions, movie nights, somewhere that requires a long drive, bowling, nightclubs, hookah bar, a bar just for drinks, Waffle House, and sports events.
All right, so not all of those count. I don't know, and it depends on the person that you're talking to, but it's just like for the women that made that list or completely agree with that list, would those women be okay taking a man out on a date to where they would like to go? Like, no. That's what I'm saying.
And that's the thing. Like, now I can get certain things that they say, like to your house, because honestly, in your mind, you're already thinking if they fine, they body look right, and you're not mentally there yet to not be trying to feel on them, I get why the house wouldn't be the best thing for a first date.
Right.
Oh, also Netflix and chill. I get that. And the gym, I mean, I think that's to each his own, because I've never
I don't know if that's a date.
Yeah, I think that's just
I think that's
go.
a link up.
Yeah, it's like we just gonna go.
Yeah.
Now I would love somebody to go to the gym with. So
Yeah.
I guess
But not a date. Like when I think about date,
Yeah.
it's like getting to know somebody. Like you don't go for a first date. You don't take somebody to the movies because you're not really talking.
Yeah, you ain't going.
Yeah.
And then they said bowling, but I feel like bowling is one of my favorite first dates.
I think it's a great person. That's why I think that the list is like it's to each his own.
It is.
It's a little skewed, but it's relative. It's relative.
I feel like it's so superficial though, because it's like I don't like Cheesecake Factory because it's just not good to me. But not because I don't feel like I'm too good to go there.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And Applebee's, baby, give me that 2 for $20.
Okay, that's what I'm talking about. You feel me?
What?
Yeah.
I want the 2 for $20. Yep.
mad.
And I already know what I'm gonna get. Bourbon Street chicken. Thank you. Like, what?
I think that's my biggest thing. It depends on the type of woman that you're pursuing and the guy that like wants to get with whatever woman it is. It's like it's just like see where y'all relate. But I think having that conversation, like okay, well what do you like to eat, and this and the third. So surprising them and taking them somewhere that they don't want to go. Like women should be more stern about what it is that they want to eat, because that's been like a question over the ages. Like
I got a problem with that. I'm not gonna lie. I do got a problem with saying I don't know, and then I had to work on that. Like saying I don't know, and then you pick something I don't like. And I'm not picky. Like I'm not a person that's like I'm too good or you can't take me here. It's just that I really don't like the restaurant. You know what I'm saying? So, but I feel like that's also with getting to know each other. Now you know what kind of food each other like. Now you're asking questions like, "What's your favorite restaurant?" I think you should ask those certain things like, or what's restaurants you have been to that you liked or something like that. Because sometimes people, you know, when they dating and they trying to be bougie, they might say Ray's on the River or Roof Chris. Like, baby, ain't nobody taking you there on the first date. They don't even know if they like you, for real. Like, you know what I'm saying? And I feel like that's just real. And even if the woman can do that for herself, I just feel like if the roles was flipped, would you take him to Roof Chris on the first day? No. And I don't think the roles should be flipped at all, period, on the first date anyways. But I'm just saying, like, you have to be logical, and a lot of women ask for things that they couldn't even uphold if they wanted to. And it's just like, I'm gonna have standards, and I mean, taking me to McDonald's, I would have a problem. Okay, you know what I'm saying? Because I hate McDonald's for one, and it's not even good food. It's not even good for your health. So I'm thinking of everything if you're gonna take me to McDonald's. Like, dang, is you even healthy? Like, what you do? You know what I'm saying? But it's just like, I'm not gonna be sold to the point where you can't take me here, you can't take me here, you can't take me here, you can't do this, can't do this. Like, dang, like, what is this? A test? A quiz?
I think it goes back to the communication. I think we talked about it before. Like, communication is key, but comprehension, like being able to comprehend like what I'm saying. Even if they say like I'm cool with going to Applebee's, but I prefer going to a Ruth Chris for like special occasions. Like, I think it's a conversation. Like being able to comprehend is like, okay, like making a big impression. Like, this ain't got to be a every time type of thing, but like I think those are the conversations that need to be had, and like really getting into the fine detail. So even when you were talking about like playing the game, I think like games that, or questions that allow the person to think deeper, I think those are like really good. I like intellectual conversations. Exactly. And like make me think or ask me some questions. Like, I feel like I got myself together, and a lot of people be getting exposed. It's just like I like what I like, and that comes from like a lot of that single mental mindset. Like you used to be like, you used to doing you cool, and it's just like, well, how do we start like
together?
So that's like just a thought process.
I think that's me too. Like, I feel like I'm learning. Like someone like a guy friend that I have is teaching me how to be more of a person that gives grace when dating a man, because I can give grace to all my friends, but when it comes to a man, my grace is like very slim to none. And I've learned that, and I've noticed that. And one thing about me is when I notice something that isn't good, I'm willing to change it. I'm not gonna say I'm just gonna change overnight, but my thought process to change is going to change overnight. Once I realize it, I decide that day that I'm going to change. It's just the process that it takes for me to change.
Got you.
And I've been realizing, like, I don't really give grace when it comes to a dude. I'd be like, I'm just going to cut him off, you know? And I've been trying to find, but it's like so used to being single that everything goes your way that you don't have to think about it going that way, or you don't have to think about, dang, it's gonna be something I don't like in a person and I have to thug it out.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And
Right.
if you want to get married, it's gonna come with a lot of that. You know what I'm saying? And it's just kind of like, for me, I feel like as soon as I feel something and I be like, that ain't what I like, I disconnect, and it's like, but for me it's like, I ain't gonna lie, like I feel like I do too much when it come to that. I feel like you Dasha, that wasn't even like nothing for you to do that for, you know?
Yeah.
And I've been learning that, and I'm thankful for my friend, because he has been helping me to like really understand and look at. And then one thing he said to me the other day, he was like, what I've learned in life is that everybody hurts, everybody has pain, but not everybody heals the same.
Right.
And I thought that was very powerful to say, because it's like, you do got to think about that, because just because I heal fast doesn't mean he's gonna heal fast, doesn't mean she's gonna heal fast. And so, or in the same form either. So it's just like learning to love people where they're at, and if you can't disconnect, you know, get away from them, because you're gonna take away from their peace, your peace, all that. But I feel like you gotta be willing to compromise, for sure.
And a lot of people be comfortable and they be stuck in that comfort. Like, I know people that have been in relationships, like and this ain't like talking down, but it's just like they are so broke that they can't afford to leave each other. You know what I'm saying? Like,
baby, I'ma leave, baby.
You know,
I'm just gonna have
I hear you, but like I ain't got it by myself, and you ain't got it by yourself, and like we're struggling to keep it together.
So we just gonna stay.
We just gonna keep it.
Now we trauma dating.
That's trauma bonded for sure, and I think that's terrible. But it's just like we are so, not even like we, but when I think about the society, it's just like we focus on like, I want, you know, my man to be my everything, and this that, and the third, or my relationship is it means everything to me, and it's just like, I don't like the codependence. It's like, where's that independence? Where's that interdependence? Like, what are you, and I hate the conversation of like, what do you bring to the table? But it's like, I'm bringing peace, I'm bringing happiness. Like, what are we bringing to the table collectively?
Yeah, because I definitely agree with that, because it's just like, I've seen that too. Like, we ain't gonna be able to do this together. So if we stay together, we'll be able to do it. And you just see them beating each other down as time goes. So I definitely do feel like that is a hindrance for your success, because I believe that who you choose can delay your process or fast forward your process.
That's good.
And I feel like people be like, I want them to be my everything. No, I want God to be my everything, and I want him to pick whoever supposed to be my equal, to make us one. But I don't want you to be my everything to the point where I don't even have a mind of my own. I can't even think on my own. I don't even want to make moves like without you. I don't want to do this without you. Now, I do think like big things that you need to talk about, it should be collective, all that stuff like that. But I feel like you have to have motion by yourself, and not even just financial motion. I'm talking about mentally, spiritually, physically. Like, you have to be that person that can be independent. Like how they say it is, I'm independent, but I want to be able to depend on you.
Got you.
Versus I'm not independent. I'm just dependent on you all times. I need you. No, it's like, I'm independent, but I love to be able to depend on you.
Got you. So let me ask you, what would you say, and like any advice that you would give to, well, let me ask you this. Are you dating right now?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I'm dating.
You sure?
I mean, like, because it's like, that's what I'm saying. That's the part where it's like, for me, it's like, yeah, you know, I'm dating, I'm feeling, you know, someone out, or whatever the case may be. And I feel like it's just me in that process of understanding, of giving grace, and so that's why I'm like, you know, yeah, but like, it would be called dating. Okay. For sure. So yeah, I am.
So what's your definition of dating? Let's get into it.
So my definition of dating is just like, for one, getting to know each other, going on dates where you can experience who we are in different settings. Okay. Because yeah, I could talk to you at a park, right? But that's just gonna be me and you. But I want to see how you are. If you do drink, I want to see how you are when you drink. If you do smoke, I want to see how you are when you smoke. Gotcha. If you are around other people, I want to see how you are around other people. When I'm in the mix, because I need to see if you're gonna treat me different when they around. And so it's a lot of things like that. So, or people introducing you to people they really care about, like, and some people just introduce you just because they introduce everybody to the person. But then there's some people that those people are sacred to them. So when I feel like you start getting into those realms and you start being able to talk to people and just fill them out, like I said, play games, get to know each other, have good times, go on dates, have those uncomfortable conversations and the comfortable ones. But I feel like that's dating, when I'm seeing that if we're even worth each other's time, not just me. Like, I'm not making it just about me, because it's not. Like, the world hard for all of us out here. So it's like, am I worthy to date you, and are you worthy to date me? And not saying we're bad people, but do we fit in where we need each other? And I feel like not enough people figure out if people add value to their life. They just think, oh, I'm on a high and now I'm ready to date you. But it's like, do they really add value, or you've been single so long that it just feels good to have a presence around?
That's it. People be just wanting a warm body, and that's dangerous. Very. You get lonely, and you
get lonely, and and that's why when I ain't gonna lie, like, I think this is the first year where I've blocked people. So it's like, when I get and that was at a point where I felt like if I didn't block them, I would have messaged them. So it was like, when I felt lonely, and I don't really feel lonely too often for real, but when I did, it was like, you're not unblocking them. So in my pride, I knew my pride and ego wouldn't let me unblock them. So that's why I knew that would be helpful. So I did that. But I also realized giving grace, if they did come to me and it was a chance presented for me to unblock them, it depends on what was said or what was done in actions if they deserve to be unblocked. And kind of going from there to see if even people are worthy, like, not just giving people a shot because they say sorry. Sorry's not good enough. But really expressing yourself and moving forward and trying to move in the right direction, even if it's not on my pace, makes me know that you're putting the effort in, and it makes me more willing to try. And so I feel like as that process goes, then I'll be able to be like, all right, like, I can fill you out, instead of like, oh, you're just good company, oh, I just like you around because I have that man, that feeling of a man, and it's just so ooh. And I ain't gonna act like I haven't got those chances, but I snap out of them fast. Like, I get them. I'm normal, you know what I'm saying? So I get them, but I snap out of that like, child, you don't like him for real. You just wanted somebody to see that day, you know? And I've been learning how to disconnect from that. Like, nah, I don't need to see him this day, because he ain't gonna be it.
Got you. So let me ask you this, as far as like, what are your boundaries when it comes to dating? Like, early on, just getting to know someone, like, because you talked about, hanging out with their friends and this, and getting introduced to, so like, when do, like, the pillars, give me like the levels or stages of dating for you?
Okay, so I feel like the first stage of dating, I don't want to meet none of your people. None. Okay. And I know that may sound, kind of cliche, superficial, or whatever the case may be. But the reason why I say that is because, for one, I feel like some people invite you to all of their friends and family, and they do that to everybody. And then their family gasses you up like, yeah, he really like you. Yeah, he da-da-da. Yeah, he da-da-da. And I feel like that can play into your mental as well. Okay. Instead of making the most conscious decision, that makes you feel good as a woman or a man to know that somebody's been talking to you in a great way to other people. So I feel like I don't want to be in that space, and then I don't want to meet people too soon as well, because I just feel like it's not the best way for me. Like, I want to get to know you before I'm meeting your people, and then let's say that I meet your kid or something, and I love kids. I don't want to grow attached to your kid, and then it makes it hard for me to detach from you because I'm attached to your kid.
You're breaking up twice.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And it's gonna be harder for me, and I know me, to break up with your kid probably than you, because you probably did something the reason why I'm breaking up with you. But the kid is gonna be like, dang, like, my heart is coming out of my chest. You know what I'm saying? And so I don't want to meet your kid early, and you can't meet my kid.
So what's a good range or time frame to, like, introduce your kid into the picture, in the mix?
Oh, I feel like, honestly, for me, I feel like I'm probably me introducing my kid. I'd be real, like, I've had people like, I can meet your kid, and I'm like, absolutely not. And it wouldn't even be like early on. I just still would be like, no.
Yeah.
Like, and I think for me, it's not even a timeline. It's, I need to know for sure. My kid gets attached. She clingy to me already. And if you be somebody she really like, she gonna talk about you, want to be around you. And I don't want her to keep asking me about someone who ain't gonna be in the picture.
Yeah.
So I want to know that, like, I see like a solid future with you. Not I think that we can be something. It's like we've laid this ground to a point where I know that it's probably we're either soon gonna be in a relationship or we already in a relationship by the time you meet my kid. Now I feel like you can meet my family members, like my cousin or something like that, before time or whatever, and I can meet yours, or even my mom or something. But or my dad, like, but my child is not too fast. Like, I don't want you. I've did that before, and it was by accident that the time she came home and the time they were there kind of like just collided because she came home early.
Right.
And but that situation made me uneasy, even though it looked nice because he was nice to my kid. It still made me uncomfortable, and it didn't make me uncomfortable because of him. It made me uncomfortable because of the way I feel. So I'm like, that's too soon. That's how I knew it was too soon for me.
Right.
And that's why I had to draw back. It wasn't gonna work. And so I've been learning to take them steps. Let me get to know you. Let me get to know you when you're mad, when you're sad, when you're going through things, all that. So for me, I don't think it's a time frame like on, when you're here. I think it's just how we are together determines who you will meet in the process.
Gotcha.
Because like I feel like you could meet my friend. I don't care when you meet my friend. You know what I'm saying? I love my friends and value my friends, but it's different than my cousin.
Right.
I mean, that's different than my daughter. Okay. But yeah, so I just feel like it just depends. Like if you're meeting like an associate, I don't mind. But also if you're meeting like my friends, I think that's so much easier for me to do because my friends are filling you out. So that if I did ever, get in a space where I did say something that wasn't in a great light of you, but they actually seen the great person you are, they could look at it like, oh, she just not feeling the best right now with that person. And usually I'm not just talking bad stuff about a dude I'm dealing with to my friends because I feel like I'll forgive you, but they won't. Yeah. So I don't really try to get into that, but I just do like them to be able to feel that person out and then even see if they get along. And especially people who are really important to you. You kind of want them to get along. Not saying it's a deal breaker, but it may be depending on what it is.
Because I actually was just recently told, somebody said, I can tell that you take the comments and concerns of your friends like really seriously. I was like, I do. And like you take their words to heart. I was like, yeah, but it's like if I know what I know and I'm confident in our relationship, it don't matter what nobody else talking about.
Exactly.
So I do take my friends' words into value because they know me. Exactly. And especially like the day twos, they know where I'm growing to and going. So I think that's dope. But when I think about like introducing people to my friends, I've learned from me, I had to stop talking about my relationships with everybody, or like how y'all doing and this and that's like, well, this, and just like seeking advice and this and the third. Like I had to learn early because if something happened, you told them they got a bad taste in their mouth, but you did some forgiving, and then you decide to go back, and it's just like. But you going back to something that's toxic and this and that. So you just got to be careful who you open your mouth to. It's a process, but it's just like keep your relationships to yourself.
Like quiet. I feel like you can be honest without giving everything. I feel like you can be like, we're going through something right now. That's it. Or we're in a great space right now. And that's with you not having to lie about it, but you not having to tell them what's going on. Like, you don't need to know what's going on. Right. You can just know that, hey, and then if I trust you with prayer, because you can't trust everybody with saying pray for me. That's true. But if I trust you with prayer, I can be like, just pray for me and him. I want you to pray for us as a union, not just me by myself because I love him, or I care about him. I wouldn't be with him if I didn't. So pray for us as a union that God helps us to figure out what we need to figure out to grow healthy together. And I feel like that's what I've learned now. So when I date now, I'm in that mental when I wasn't before. At first it was like, they do too much and I'm like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I never really was like that because I only been like 2 adult relationships. But with my child's father, I was like, But I only said, I wasn't talking about him. I only said what he did and how I responded, but I wasn't saying, oh, he's a dog or like I just was like, I don't like this, and they got their opinion off of what he actually did and what I did back and kind of thing, and I just didn't really leave no crumbs when I said it.
Got you. So in close, like, wrap us up and like give the ladies dating in 2023 going into 2024, give us some sound advice that you would give the ladies out there that's worked and been beneficial for you.
Okay. So ladies, what I would say is, I feel like, for one, stand on business, and that's in every area. Don't allow a man to come into your life and knock you off a track of what you're supposed to be doing, your calling, your gift. Like, don't get so caught up in that honeymoon stage that you forget that you had a vision, you know? And allow that man to be of help, because I know when you're single and you're independent, it's hard to even allow a man to help you at times. And sometimes when you're single and you've been wanting a man to help you so long, women use men. And I feel like, don't be that person to use men, and don't be that person who acts like you don't need a man, because if it was, we didn't need no one, earth wouldn't have been made the way it is. And I would say, not need as in I need this specific man, but you do need a man and a woman to come together in union. So I'm not saying, oh, you need John, or you need Jake, or you need Sarah, or you need Keisha, but I'm just saying that you do need someone else to come into that union. So just think of it as that, and not thinking that you got to do everything by yourself. And coming from me as a mom that's no longer with my child's father, I would say you can get so caught up in being a mom all the time, like, without someone helping you. And in my instance, my child dad does get her, but I'm saying the times where it's just her at home and it's just me and her, you don't have that help, you don't have nobody doing this and doing that, so you kind of grow to a point where you feel like you can do everything by yourself and the world can be on your back. And allow a man to help you ease up, because I've had that problem. Ease up, release, allow somebody to help you, but still create those boundaries and morals for yourself. But also, stop being gold diggers and stop asking for stuff that you know you can't. If you cannot bring stuff to the table, you cannot say, I want a man who spent $25,000 on this. I want a man who gonna buy me a Birkin. Like, baby, you can't even afford a Birkin. If you blink, close your eyes again, wake up again, you can't afford none of that. So it's like, let's be realistic. And I'm a girls. I love my women, but it's just like, let's be realistic. How do you expect to find a husband if you trying to cheat a man after everything he got? And don't go on that date and get everything on the menu because you know he gonna pay for it. That's wrong.
You heard her.
Go on a date and get what you... Now, this is what I think. I wouldn't lowball and get the little smallest thing on the menu, but I would get what I would actually pay for if I was there.
Talking.
You feel me? So do that, and just make sure that you lead with respect, and they should respect you too on every form. Like, don't go for nothing strange, and make sure that you show him that you're a nurturer, and you show him that... So many people are caught up on not doing too much because you're not a wife yet. But if you don't give a man nothing to see, how does he know that you're going to be a good wife? You know, now I think there's levels to it. You shouldn't just put everything on him and do everything for him at the beginning. But I do feel like you should show him things so he can work up to knowing that you would be a good wife. You know what I'm saying? So make sure y'all pay attention to that, and stop listening to people who y'all think is outside, because they really inside, and they really got men, and they really laid up, and they not popping their coochie outside like they say. They not doing all these things that you think is music, baby. They're making their bread and they're eating because y'all is coming in y'all mental. So make sure that you be mindful. Don't ruin your relationship because of what somebody said, and they probably boot up with their boyfriend when they get done performing for y'all, and they rubbing his feet and they cooking for him and they doing all this, and they didn't told you to be outside till 4 a.m. and then he lose your man. Don't do that, okay? But I'm single, can't really give dating advice completely, but I can give what I've been learning in my single season to help me with my dating season. So, yep, that's
That's good. And also, I'll say one thing for the ladies as well is like, if y'all can and if you're open, like, give men grace. Because a lot of women are expecting men to be men when they're only raised as a boy. You know what I'm saying? Like, and you know, to each his own with their background, but it's just like what goes in the boy comes out of the man. And it's just like we have to be careful and ask certain questions. And that's where we go back to our conversation, asking certain questions of like, well, what was your upbringing like? You know, did you stay in a 2-parent household? Like, did you stay in the projects? You know, were there any traumatizing situations that got you thinking a certain way? Like, certain women expect a man to just be a man, or like you should have been raised this way, but you're not collecting the information in order to find out like how were you raised? Like, were you a product of your environment? Are you trying to shift and change? So that's one thing I would add on to that. And then for the men, I would say, I honestly say, continue to like stand on your word. Continue to stand on your word. Like, do what you say you're gonna do. Like, let your actions speak so loud that I can't hear your words. You know what I mean? Like, let your actions speak so loud that I can't even hear what you saying. So like, I don't want us to like, oh, I'm gonna do this or I'm working towards that. It's just like, make sure you got receipts for yourself and you're doing it for you first. Don't be doing it for these women and this and the third. Like, make sure that you happy and you're not just like completing someone else's like circle of happiness. So I just want like men to like make sure that they're doing it for themselves, because I want them to be able to like protect like what's present for them, like what you've been working for, what men have been working for, and like like defend the things that you're developing, which is like a good mindset. Like for me, I understand that like meaningless sex or just sex with this, that, and the third, like that's meaningless for me. Like I actually want a true connection. So like defend what you're developing, the new mindset that you're developing, because it's easy to fall back into the worldly ways and the old ways, because it's so common. Yeah. So like defend the things that you're developing right now, because it's going to sustain you through the future and then different turmoil and tribulations and different things like that. So just protect that man. Exactly.
Protect that. And I got something to say to men too. I would say to men coming from a lady, I'm not a man, so I can't come from y'all's shoes, but what I can say is, for you to be a leader and for you to be an effective leader, you have to give a woman something to submit to. You can't be the blind and then you want to lead me, because I'm not following the blind. I'm following structure. I'm following what makes sense. And I'm following someone who will naturally allow me to submit, because if you are leading correctly, I will naturally submit. And the real women and the great women will naturally submit once you give them something to follow, a blueprint. But if you have no blueprint, you just up in the air, you don't know what you want to do with your life, with your time, with nothing, and you just kind of willy-nilly, what do you want me to follow?
Come on, man.
You know what I'm saying? And then on top of that, for me, is do what works for you. Stop saying, I won't do this for a woman, I won't do this for a woman, because you don't never know until you meet a woman who God placed in your life. Because what you may do for this chick that was just a floozy, or this chick that was just a one-night stand, or this chick that you just was gonna date real quick and you stopped, then for the woman who God placed in your life, it's gonna be 3 different, like this gonna be different things. So just make sure you're not just, your tongue is powerful, and what you say out of your mouth is powerful. And like they say, life and death is in the power of the tongue, and I really believe that. So be mindful of what you say. And I feel like you can agree to disagree with things, but like even like the 50-50 thing, I'm not gonna say what I agree with, what I don't, but I just say this: know what you're gonna bring and know what they're gonna bring, but not to the table. I'm saying, what are you gonna bring to satisfy what y'all are building as a union on both ends? And make sure you're respectful and you're not in this way of the world like you feel like all these women are thoughts, or all these women are this, that you don't give a real woman a chance because you already have this prenotated thought of women. So, and I want to ask you one question before we go out.
Okay.
How is it being an abstinent man in Atlanta in 2023?
Yeah.
And you travel?
Yeah.
How is that? Because that requires strength, okay?
It's a process, man. It's a process. That's an interesting question. How is it? it's difficult. Like I don't have a lot of the examples that I think I want at times. And even with a lot of my friend groups, it's just like they hear me, but they don't feel me because they're not doing it.
Exactly.
So for me, it's just like really getting into my word, and instead of doing what I know is right, it's just like going with what I feel and what I study is right. So it's just like if I want something fruitful, then I know I have to like prepare the harvest. I have to go ahead and plant the seeds. I gotta do the work, and a lot of that work comes in my season of isolation. And it's like the isolation is ISO 1-on-1 with God. So like the things that I'm hearing from God is like, okay, don't do this or don't do that, or like, you know, be patient. And it's a process, because it's just like, as much as I'm seeing, those are some of the things that I do want to do. And it's like, it's something I'm used to, but it's like I don't always have to move with flesh. But it's really a process, and I take it one day at a time. I was like, now it's been about a year and a half. And I will say I'm stronger than when I started, but like that, it's a day by day type of thing. It's a day by day. It's a process. It's a day by day.
And so how do you, because I'm not abstinent, but are you abstinent to marriage? Are you abstinent till you find the right person, or are you just abstinent until God tells you, like, or I mean, you know, of course you're not supposed to have sex before marriage and stuff like that, but I'm not there yet, of course. But what are your goals for the abstinent? Like, do you plan to do it all the way to marriage, or you just don't know, you're just doing it?
I'm really literally in the process of taking it one day at a time. Like when I think about it, I do want covenant, I do want marriage, I want a partner that I can spend the rest of my life with. But instead of like vision casting and seeing the finish line, like I'm in the process of like taking it day by day. Like, what am I doing to prepare myself to be a husband, to be a provider, to be this, to be a better man of God, child of God. So I just take it one day at a time. So like in the courting stage, when I do meet my wife, it's just like, well, I wouldn't even want to defile or spoil something that's meant for me to have forever by trying to do something too soon. So it's just like, am I waiting till marriage? I think that's a great idea. I think I'm preparing myself right now. And then like, cause marriage could happen. Like I can meet her and then we get married in less than a year.
Yeah.
Like time, like I don't know.
Yeah.
But the more that I think about time, it's like, I don't want to put myself in that box of like, I'm going to wait or when. Yeah. When is it going to happen? I'm going to wait until marriage. I'm just going to wait until God tells me it's the right time. So, and it's as cliche as it may sound, it's just one of those things where like, because I'm hearing from God, so apparently now it's like, I'm cool. I don't need no other confirmation from anybody else right now. But I do have accountability. Like even letting my friend circles know that, you know, this what I like. I'm not afraid to say if I slip up. But like I'm letting them know, like I'm still going strong, bro. Like I'll even on my trips when I'm traveling, like I'll call my friends or I'll call my pastor and like, I need prayer. Like, it's a beautiful view. This balcony hitting, this shower is absolutely amazing. Whole glass shower, like, and the women are beautiful. Like, I just need some prayer right now, cause that, like, just my atmosphere is enticing. So what I started to do now is I've started to like pack my Bible on my trips. And then one thing that I got a while ago, a word I got was like to pack my faith everywhere that I go. So like, and when you're in those atmospheres, make sure that you invite God in. When you're in those atmospheres, make sure that like you're casting out what you don't want to be there. Like you have to set the atmosphere and set the tone for the environment that you're in. Because if you do, like with the last person that was there, or this and the third, like it's easy to conform to like social media and what the world should say that you should be doing on vacation.
Exactly.
But like coming back from Costa Rica, like I gave it to God. I dreamed well. Like it's just different. Things are hitting different for me, but it ain't pretty work, but it is meaningful work.
Ooh. Cause baby, I am not.
I hear you.
Here. Like I've been working on a lot of things spiritually that I feel like I'm there with, but that ain't one of them.
I hear you.
And it's like for me, I'm not gonna lie. This may sound crazy, but like to envision not knowing how it feels with that person before I make a covenant with them. And I know it's like soul ties, and soul ties are definitely real. I've learned that for sure. But it's like when I don't like it, like, I just feel like I'm gonna divorce him. Like,
well, see, I think I've shifted my perspective is because like I've had soul ties and I found myself fighting battles that weren't mine, and I'm like, I don't want to do nobody else's work, and that's what hit different for me. Like, I'm like, I'm not a depressed person. Like, I had a good upbringing with my mom and this, that, and the third, but I found myself battling. I'm an only child. I found myself like wanting like this, that, and the third from like different siblings and stuff. I'm like, I'm cool with the way my childhood was.
Right.
Like, what am I? Oh, my partner had a bad relationship with a sister, and like this is that, and the third, and like, why is that my issue?
Yeah.
It's like I don't want to have to deal with nobody else's stuff until it's time to like build with someone else.
Yeah.
So like, I think that's like been the biggest shift for me. It's just like, all right, temporary pleasure for a long lasting, like you're going to deal with this person's demons, spirits, where they're growing, where they're not growing. Like, you want to do that with that person? Like, I think about it like that now. And like, it's like that 15, 30 hour worth of pleasure, and it's just like it took me some years to like heal and become like not even the person I was to become a better person, like as a result of getting over what they went through.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So it hit different for me. It's like, I don't want that extra work. I just want to work on what God is calling me to work on, and like that's where I'm at. So
let's pray we all get there.
Yeah, it's a process. It's a process, one day at a time.
Maybe I can get married before I gotta get there. Please,
go.
God. Like, I'm not gonna lie. I'm like, God, just let me get married. Like, because I'm not there yet, and it's something. And I'm not saying that I don't try, but and I'm better than I used to be. But I'm just like, God, listen, just get me married at this point, because it's not all the way working out. Like, I'm
good.
Oh, it's not all the way working out. I'm not there, like, and I'm just like, can you please help me, please? And I think that's just like something I say on a day-to-day, I guess. Like, please, God, I need your assistance. I need you to help me get through this. And I feel like, for a point, I used to feel like God wouldn't bless you with the man you were dealing with because you had sex with him, until I stopped thinking that, no, we're not under performance based anymore. Even though also I shouldn't be doing it, that doesn't mean that God is not going to bless me with that, or not going to bless that man because we did things that were ungodly. You know what I'm saying? That doesn't mean that. So it's just me working to do better and not making it excuse, but working to do better, but also being honest with myself and saying, you ain't there yet, child. You know, and
give yourself grace.
Yeah. And so so I guess that's all. Is that all you got? I
think that's all I got. Y'all stay safe in these streets, because people be talking about it. The streets ain't a safe place. It ain't a safe place. It's fun, but it's fun until So I just say stay safe in these streets, because I feel like I done been in the streets, but I feel like I leave with the streets in me, and it take longer for me to get the streets out of me, because it's like people say they want to be married, but they still got a single mindset.
Exactly. Like,
people want to have a partner, but they still used to having options. So it's like, it's cool. That's why I say it's cool being in the streets, but it's just like you leave with the streets in you, and it's just like you got to be careful what you ask about.
you do. And let's close them out with doing so what we're gonna do, y'all, is we're gonna close y'all out with doing a fortune cookie, and it's going to basically, of course, y'all know how fortune cookies is. It's gonna say a word, whatever the case may be. We're going to do those. We're gonna do 2, one for me, one for him, and y'all, have y'all spill. But that's how we plan to end. Either we're gonna end it with the fortune cookies, or we're gonna end it with a positive word, whatever the case may be. We just want to always leave y'all with something when y'all are able to touch our platform. So you go first.
Okay. All right. So Confucius said, don't listen to the vain words from empty minds. Don't listen to the vain words from empty minds. Don't listen to people that's playing a good cover up or playing a good role, but they don't have no real substance. Like, y'all be careful of these masks, because people wearing them. Y'all be careful.
With pride. Mine says you will be unusually successful in an entertainment career. Yes, sir.
We've been talking about that. We've been talking about it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, God, I see you. Cause this God, cause baby, I don't know what these supposed to be too, but it's to God for me. But yeah, yes, sir. and will.
It's already done.
Yeah, it's already done. It's already done.
All right, take us up out of here.
Okay, y'all. So I want to thank y'all for tuning in. And again, this is Go and Grow Podcast with
Taking care of the one and only.
Yes, sir. And also, this Go and Grow podcast will be on my regular page, The Lifestyle of Shelly. And then I will be making another page for my podcast, Go and Grow Podcast. And I do need you all of you guys to like, comment, and subscribe when I do make that page as well. But until then, check out this YouTube. And I love y'all.
Peace.